went back and found the screenshots of him being active this year while we're talking on the dating app that he still continues to deny. He goes, well, you didn't have my back, and that's like all I had. Like, it's still about like how he feels.
Elizabeth, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. Little Edward Brown broke up with you 12 times, insulted you, manipulated you, cheated on you. Yet you're already still back together with him. What do we think, audience of the show? What do we think, audience of the Yourwetsock YouTube channel? Do we let this slide? Or do we hold her accountable? It's at the point where many fans of the show assume that Liz is only staying with Ed for financial and social media come up. But fear not, good citizens of the internet, for I have a self-proclaimed master's degree in narcissistic behavior. So make sure you're subscribed to the Yourwetsock YouTube channel so you can learn how to combat little weirdos that are trying to invade your mind. If you're cultured enough to watch anime, you're gonna get this reference. It's like when Babidi tried to invade Vegeta's mind. That is very similar to how Ed has invaded Liz's mind. The Mucinex man uses a rare mixture of gaslighting, cheating, lying, bullying, insulting, and egoing to ensure his fiance stays under his thumb. Little does this rat know that there's an army of over 300,000 dirty, stinky, moldy, wet socks that are holding him accountable. We have enough audience to fill up a football arena. How dope is that? This channel started off as a joke, but no one's laughing now, are they? Because we're becoming stronger and we're climbing all the platforms. Side note, at the end of this video, we're gonna be discussing narcissists extensively and also healthy ways to communicate for both men and women in a relationship setting. I've noticed that recently y'all have been digging our heart-to-hearts, and golly gee, you sure know how to make a guy feel special.
Until I know everything I need to know about you, I can't marry you, I'm gonna be honest.
Liz and Ed just show that two broken people don't make a healed one.
I get upset. I start crying, and he goes, there you go again, performing. And then what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna sit there, so of course I'm gonna walk away. I'm tired of that.
Okay, serious question. How many of you see a broken person and think to yourself, if I can make them love life again, they will love me and all the parts of me that I hate about myself? It's so dumb when you stop and think about it, but in the moment, it makes so much sense.
Liz, did you get an apology?
I got a half-assed felt apology.
Oh, I don't think so.
It started off heartfelt, but then the second I started crying, it was me performing again.
I think Liz has dated damaged men her entire life because she herself is damaged, and it's easier to feel good about your own baggage when the man you're in a relationship with has a heavier load than you do. If I had to take a guess, I would say that their trauma bond started when Ed opened up and was vulnerable with her about what it was like growing up without a neck. And the reason why I think that is because she admitted in an interview with John Walters that she avoided Ed like the plague for months until she finally went on a couple of dates with him, and then they had a heart-to-heart, and then she started to open up to him. So I'm assuming that they just talked about their trauma, and he manipulated her by like pretending that he gave a fuck about what she was telling him when he was really thinking about getting in her pants. Once they had this heart-to-heart and started opening up, I'm sure that Liz's eyes lit up because she found a man that was more broken than she is. Before we continue reviewing this garbage TV show, I'd like to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Block Blast. A perfect mix of block and brain puzzle games, combining creativity with the classics. It's the simple control, wonderful sound effects, and great rhythm for me. It is an easy to play but hard to master puzzle game that will keep you hooked more and more. And good news, the game is free to play and is available on Google Play and the Apple Store. After a long, tiresome day of making fun of cringe NPCs on the internet, I really enjoy laying in bed and playing Block Blast because it helps me relax my brain, because my brain is usually firing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm an overthinker and I got a lot of thoughts, so playing Block Blast in my bed helps me unwind. This game is high-key addicting. It helps me forget about my worries, escape my reality, but most importantly, have fun. This game is simple and easy to play, suitable for all ages, and great for killing time. The other day when I was in line to Chick-fil-A because it was my diet cheat day, I was playing. How you play is you drag and drop the blocks onto the board and clear the blocks when a column or a row is filled. Click the link in the bio of this video to download Block Blast and try to beat my high score if you can. Mwahaha, evil laugh.
Here's what I've learned through this whole process is that if I'm not able to accept who she is, it's not going to work, and that's my problem.
You can't change.
I cannot change.
It's hard enough to change yourself.
Yeah, right, and I cannot accept who she is.
It's so troll watching him trying to spin this into I can't accept her for being the way she is when all she did was call you out for being unfaithful and being a fucking creep and messaging other women on Instagram behind her back. If you're an engaged man or in a committed relationship with someone, the bare minimum is not messaging other girls. Ed's so afraid to take personal accountability for the fact that he cheated on his fiance, something that the entire world knows by now. Like I said in past videos, narcissists will often run away from personal accountability. Now, wait till y'all enter a relationship with a dark empath. They are 20 times worse and way sneakier and more intelligent.
We haven't talked since.
Okay, so I saw it differently. Yesterday was the worst day of my life.
No, it wasn't. You've had plenty of worse days.
Liz, what does that on your finger do?
Oh, I feel naked without my ring, so I
you
have
put
a
on
band.
something?
I just feel weird without it. So it's just like, I'm just
Oh, are you serious?
weird, yeah.
This girl is so lost in the sauce. Obviously, the mere prospect of losing Ed is triggering Liz's anxiety, but I wish she understood that the fear of loss is a consequence of irrational thinking. She may not see it now, she may not see it tomorrow, but eventually she will learn that she doesn't actually love Ed. She has a desire within herself that she wants to be fulfilled. When she finally does the self-work, she's gonna realize that as selfless as she's trying to portray herself, she's actually acting in her own self-interest, just in a very unique way.
The problem is denial about Rose.
But you can't move on.
And then bring in.
You don't have forgiveness. And when somebody says they're sorry, you move.
Ed is operating balls deep in his ego right now. Instead of allowing Liz to communicate how she feels, he instead cuts her off and validates everything she says. What he's doing right here triggers a lot of people because it's more common in a relationship than you would think. For the majority of people, regardless of gender, it's incredibly difficult to sit in a feeling of shame and guilt. Not everyone is willing to take responsibility for their own words and actions, especially not a little egg.
Why do you call me fat? Why do you make me insecure?
Stop it. You're drunk.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
Like I was drowning and you were stepping on my head.
Wait.
And that's why I lashed out. I'm just saying, Liz, that's why I lashed out.
This happened when Rose came on.
You know what's cooler than apologizing? Proving through actions that you've changed your behavior. I get that it's incredibly hard to break a habit, especially when you've been doing a toxic thing your entire life, but it's better to just say, instead of I'm never gonna do this again, I'm going to work on this. I see this and I recognize that what I'm doing is causing you pain and I'm going to actively work on this. Saying something like that is more realistic and people just want to be transparent, you know? No one wants to like hear what they want to hear as opposed to you genuinely meaning what you're saying.
But I said I was sorry.
But I have a right to speak my
He
hurt.
still has a right to feel still sad and upset.
And explain my hurt.
That's how I felt.
This dude has such a lack of respect for Liz and women in general, and you can tell by how whenever Bilal says something, he listens and looks like he wants to suck him off, but whenever Liz says something, he just speaks over her. Later in the episode, little Edward comes at Jovi and Yara hard. He communicates to Jovi that he thinks that he's a pussy.
You're a pussy.
You're a pussy.
No, I'm serious. You are a pussy. I mean that.
And he also accuses Yara of destroying their family.
You're letting her ruin your life.
For the fans of the show watching this, we were just looking around like, it's so ironic for you to come at Jovi and Yara and accuse them of destroying their family when you've destroyed your own family and you currently have a non-existent relationship with your daughter. Ed will often project, we've seen him do it every single tell-all, and he's the last person that should throw stones when he lives in a glass house.
We were broke up in May. That's when I was texting her, and that is why I wished her Mother's Day. I wished her a happy Mother's Day because we weren't together.
The last message you sent her was the 28th, the day before you proposed to me.
I didn't see that.
Oh shit, Cracked Egg is really gonna play dumb here. You didn't see the messages, but you sent them from your Instagram DMs? Cheers to that, bud. It's coffee, not poop juice. Don't think I'm sus like that. How dumb do you think people are, Lil Edward? I think what irks me the most about Lil Edward is that he's so unintelligent that I struggle to see how he can manipulate anyone successfully.
Anyway, you gotta own up to the dating app because you were on the dating app this year. You're still in denial about it.
Okay. Well, look, she can't even have a conversation.
He can see into the future. That's so wet sock. How funny is it that this happened exactly like how I predicted in my last Ed and Liz video? A bad habit from Liz I see is that when she feels something uncomfortable, she will walk away. When you want to sit and stay in the argument and continue to put the narcissist on the spot, if you turn and walk away, they're gonna turn to everyone and try to spin it into, look how immature she is. She can't even sit in this argument and speak to me. Liz needs to work on fortifying her mind and get to that state where she's almost emotionally detached and she can just sit in any argument and not allow anything that Ed says to affect her.
First of all, I'll deny to this day that I was in a dating app.
Ed, what have you not denied? It's confirmed that you were messaging other girls behind your woman's back. It's confirmed that you were on a dating app at the same time that you were dating this girl. Even if you're broken up and you really want to ride that wave, you initiate the breakups with Liz and create separation so that you can shoot your shot with other girls. Not to mention you lied about messaging your ex, Rosemary Vega, and we have the footage of that. It's at the point where your words carry no weight when you're an untrustworthy individual that doesn't keep the promises that he makes to himself or his partner.
She's sitting there trying to tell you why she's
but first of all,
upset, and you're still attacking her.
Stop insulting me. What you said was very rude.
What did I say?
How you responded to me, like, oh, I don't get their relationship. Like, you don't belittle me and my relationship.
Jenny didn't belittle you or your relationship. It's funny to watch Voltorb throw out words that he doesn't know the dictionary definition of. Edward proceeds to get in an argument with Jenny and even insult her because he perceives any criticism that is chucked his way as a personal attack.
What? She can talk to me like that?
Be polite. She didn't say anything wrong.
Oh, but
I'm not
you're
the
listening
only one
through
that
your own
feels this
filter.
way.
Typical narcissistic behavior that I've covered in previous videos on this couple if you'd like to check them out when you have time.
And I know what I did. I hurt her, and I did.
But you know what? She could have accepted the apology, too. Like we said earlier, relationships work both ways.
Stan, this is what you're doing. This is what we want you to do. Why would you accept an apology from someone that isn't genuinely sorry? If he genuinely cared about this girl, he would fix his toxic behavior and show through actions that he cares. Kim's so easily influenced. No wonder she got used by a dude that already used another older woman before her. In the back room, the NPCs are talking amongst themselves, and Liz comes in with the evidence, and it turns out that Ed was active 2 hours ago on the dating sites. The dating site they're talking about is one of those ones where it's like old Caucasian male seeking relationship with youthful Asian woman. It comes as no surprise that Ed denies being active on the dating sites. He even says something on the lines of, "Can you prove it was me?"
I created that a year and a half ago. My bio is when Teddy was alive.
The time period when you created your account has nothing to do with whether you are currently active on the account, bro. You can tell this dude's a liar by how he can never present a satisfactory argument. I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, I was never on the website. If I was on a dating app, I would know that. How idiotic to swear to God that you've never been active on the website when you've already admitted to creating a profile on the website. The Christian in me is screeching, how dare you take the Lord's name in vain and casually swear on the Lord? Are you not afraid of divine retribution, Edward?
It said last active 2 hours ago.
I'll tell you right now, it's not me.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. So it's not little Edward, it's a little Edward impersonator that paid money to pretend to be him so that they could talk to Asian women. Ed then says, "You want me to prove that it's not me? I can go to my hotel room and get my laptop." When I first watched this scene, I was on the couch, Miller Lite in hands, and I said to myself, yes, little Edward, go get your laptop. However, someone should accompany him to make sure that he doesn't delete messages or delete his account. Itty bitty little problem though, Ed has a guardian angel named TLC. Right as he was gonna go to his hotel room and get his laptop, one of the producers comes in and tells the entire cast to come back out for another round of filming. Ed is thrilled that he was once again bailed out by his zaddy, the network, and he's just hoping that the rest of the cast members forget about him having to actually go get his laptop and verify that he wasn't on the dating sites. During the tell-all, Ed disagreed with and got in a fight with just about everyone, especially Jovi, Yara, and Jenny.
Hey, you had your turn yesterday.
Oh, be quiet.
Some of the things this little freak was saying was so out of pocket and outrageous that it got to the point where he called Jovi a pussy, and when this happened, Jovi's mom spoke up and asked Ed, how old are you?
Y'all all need to grow up. Oh my gosh. Ed, how old are you?
This blank stare he gives, it's like man finally steps out of his ego enough to realize what a terrible look this is. To be honest with you, nothing really interesting happens after the tell-all. I think that episodes 1 and 2 were good, but 3 and 4 there was a lot of filler. Ed proceeds to once again try to play the victim and convince Liz that she is wrong and he is right, but she doesn't entertain his advancements, which is cool to see.
Have a good night.
She's just like, oh, I'm busy right now. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Ed, in typical narcissist fashion, gets really butthurt when Liz ignores him, so he goes back to his hotel room and then he informs her via text that he's going to Boston without her. I guess they originally planned to go to Boston together because he had a speaking event. That's what he communicated, but I highly doubt that anyone would pay him to speak at an event. At the end of the last episode, Liz speaks directly to the fans of the show and promises them that this is the last breakup with Ed. She adds that her plan is to go home, live a good life, and finally put herself first. I really wish that that was the case, but as I mentioned in my past video, they're already back together. A fan took a picture of them holding hands walking in San Diego. At this point, in the words of our parents, we're not mad, we're just disappointed, Lizzie. Ed will often do the most to paint Liz out as needy, which is not the case. She just has needs. Needs are very important in a relationship setting, as I'm sure you're aware. When needs aren't met, it's like a switch goes off in your brain and you start to emotionally check out of your relationship. If someone can't meet your needs, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just probably means that they're not where you're at emotional maturity wise. For this bouncy ball that looks like the Walmart version of the Penguin from Batman, he is living in his ego, and that's a problem I see with a lot of men these days, especially older men, surprisingly. I guess with age doesn't come maturity. If you live in your ego and you perceive every woman as the problem, it's usually not the case. For example, if you're a big, strong man and you say things to your girl like, you're too much right now, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, right away, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. If you can't sit in a conversation when uncomfortable feelings come up and process and communicate your emotions in a healthier way, to your woman, it doesn't matter how jacked you are, you look like a little bitch. If you raise your voice and try to get big on your woman, you look like a little bitch. You need to cut that shit out and take a step back and learn how to process what you're feeling. Now for Liz, the role of the healer is incredibly difficult because you truly believe that if you give this person enough love and heal them, it's gonna heal you. And it's not the case. It is a distraction. You have to become the love of your life if you want to attract the love of your life. And that involves solitude. I thought in many past relationships that if I could fix someone's toxic mindset, I would become an indispensable person in their life. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to make that realization and talk to yourself and figure out that that in itself is manipulative? It's manipulative to project and hold someone to the standard of them that you have in your head. It's not that person's responsibility to live up to the version of themselves that you have in your head. Instead, it is your responsibility to live up to the version of yourself that you have in your head. When you're a hopeless romantic person and you've been looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with, the majority of your life, you will often put the person you're in a relationship with on a pedestal and project those emotions and those feelings and that version of them onto whatever partner you're with. It could be very possible that you're doing 80% of the work and they're doing 20. I truly believe that Liz is there right now because she already has 200,000 followers plus on Instagram. She's verified. She's on Cameo. She can make a lot of money even without Ed. I think she still chooses Ed because she doesn't want to face herself. I understand why so many fans are irritated with Liz because it's incredibly frustrating to watch someone purposely stunt their growth as a human being and choose someone that is a narcissist and treats them terribly. I see what she's doing to herself and I understand it, but at the same time, it's like when you feel a lot of hatred for someone or a lot of love for someone, usually those feelings are just running away from the shame that you feel about yourself. And once you actually face your trauma, there will be a night where you're literally curled up in a ball and you're crying profusely, but it is necessary for your growth. It's almost like when Orochimaru becomes a new version of himself and sheds his skin. I had to get an anime reference in there. You are gonna do that to yourself. Like we're all learning and growing at a different pace, regardless of what age you are. And if you're one of those people that just puts off the self-work and never does it, you're gonna live a very lonely experience because you're gonna always attract the same thing. Like we are what we attract. So when we heal, we attract people that are on the same level. That's the thing too about relationships. The best relationships are ones where you can grow and fall in love with each version of your partner. It's incredibly hard to come across because realistically, like you can only help someone so much or give so much advice or come from the place of the healer and the teacher. But if someone doesn't want to change and step out of their ego, you cannot overextend and help raise them up when they don't want to do the self-work. And it's frustrating when that happens, but you have to remember that even if you feel like I wasted my time on someone, you didn't because you were leveling yourself up by trying to show them and raise them up. You were learning a lot of things about yourself.
You told me when you were drunk the other night that you would rather sleep with Alex her than me.
I've seen a lot of people say too that they have a type. If your type is trying to recreate a familiar dynamic that you experienced as a child, you might want to work on yourself and changing your type. It's hard time. I got a lot of things I want to talk about for both the men and the women. I'm going to start with the men. I see a lot of men chasing women. You should think about life as a game and chase skills and masteries and EXP. When you level yourself up, women will chase you. I've noticed a couple dudes stopping by my channel and commenting that my advice I gave in my last Big Ed video was wrong, and once again doubling down on the point that women mainly leave men because of money. So I just typed in on Google, is the main reason that women leave men because of money? What is the number one reason for divorce? Oh look, it's lack of commitment. You got lack of commitment at 73%. Next up, we got argue too much at 56%. So when I say the majority of the problems that you're facing in a relationship could be fixed by learning how to process your emotions and communicate in a healthier way, it's backed by the stats. Y'all want to hear a story? Once upon a time, there was a guy named Jack and his girlfriend's name was Jill. Y'all know those soap cutting videos that are addicting to watch? Well, Jill has been looking at those videos all week on TikTok, and she wants to cut soap with her boyfriend Jack. For about a week, she's been dropping subtle hints like sending him videos of cutting soap. She's also been mentioning it in conversations throughout the day. Finally, he picks up on it and says, oh babe, after work today, how about we go to Bath and Body Works and we get some soap and we can make those videos that you want to do together. She's like, oh my God, are you serious? You mean it? Wow, we're gonna cut soap together. Oh my God, we're just spending time together. Oh my God. Blah. Jill is hype, and rightfully so, because for the majority of people, spending quality time together and doing stuff is their love language, and it makes them gushing. The day goes by, Jack finally gets home from work, and Jill actually makes dinner because she's so thankful that he is willing to do this activity together. She's been looking forward to this and thinking about it all day. Jack gets home, greets his woman, but says, oh, you know what, babe? I had a long day at work today. I think I'm just gonna play video games with my friends. Why don't we do the soap thing tomorrow? Y'all already know where this is going. Whoa! Be honest, how many of y'all have been there? Turns into an absolute shit show. Jack will hit her with something like, I provide for you and you're gonna fight with me over soap? You're really gonna start an argument over soap because I wanna play video games with my friends? It's not about that, bro. It's about you honoring your word and keeping the commitments that you made to your woman. She's been thinking about this all day, about spending time together and doing a fun activity together. You're too tired to spend quality time with me and do a fun activity, but you're not tired enough to play video games with your friends. Then you had to bring finances into it and say that I worked so hard to give you all the things you want. You give all the things that you want, Jack. And on top of it, Jack, you sent your woman into fight or flight mode by bringing up finances. Here's the secret sauce. It doesn't matter what form the fight is in. It doesn't matter if it's about soap. It doesn't matter if it's about a Target run. It doesn't matter. It's about spending quality time together and honoring the commitments that you made to your woman. And if you're gonna involve finances, because everything's about money these days, women only want money, women only want to use you for your money. Women can make money themselves. If that's the dynamic that you want, that a woman doesn't work and you work and make all the money, that's fine. But the problem with that is when you use your finances and throw it in your woman's face when you have an argument and make her feel like a fucking leech. This all goes back to the dude saying things like women only want you for your money. You have to realize that when I'm giving this advice, I'm trying to put y'all on. I believe that men and women are not as different as society will make us seem. However, when things come up and you have arguments, in every relationship you're gonna have an argument, how you communicate and how you process the information that you are getting from your lenses is so fucking important. Right now, from what I'm seeing, you got a lot of sexually frustrated gamer boys being steered in the wrong direction by a lot of Andrew Tate wannabes. Opposite side, you got a lot of broken women giving terrible advice on their villain arcs, obviously telling women to cheat and be harlots. It's at the point where the majority of healers or just people that have done the self-work are starting to feel like they were born in the wrong generation. But a lot of the other generations are racist, so it's like, oh, where do we go? So we need to create our own safe space. And being the businessman I am, I think we make that safe space the Yourwetsock YouTube channel. Honestly, God, I'm so thankful for y'all because I started this channel off as a joke and then it has snowballed into a fire community of people that can have serious conversations and also make fun of cringe reality TV stars. From the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can always order a Cameo from me. I give the best cameos on the platform, I think. My advice for the sexually frustrated gamer boys is stop fapping, stop giving your seed and your sexual energy to these women that don't even know you exist. Harness that. If you start feeling mad horny, go work out in the gym for an hour and a half every single day. If you do that, I swear to God, you're gonna become more attractive, you're gonna be more sound mentally and physically, and you're gonna be above 80% of the population. If you keep the promises that you make to yourself and achieve your goals, you will also keep the promises that you make to your partner. And when you level up yourself, you will attract someone that is also leveling up. Remember that the internet is not a real place. The majority of these people creating content on the internet are cringe NPCs in real life. I went to a YouTuber event one time and I met a bunch of people and so many dudes couldn't look me in the eyes and shake my hand. And I'm a little primal with it to where it's like, I'm the same way, if not more intense off camera. So if you can't hold a conversation with me, you're not fucking real. You are the only unique you in existence. Let go of the limiting beliefs, become your most authentic self and level up your skills and masteries and you will attract everything you want in this life. All right, now big thanks again everybody for watching today's video. Comment below, subscribe, love you, man. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.